Hello and welcome to this week's episode of So Fired. I'm Chelsea Toronto.
I'm Dr. Lindsay Regier.
And welcome. Each week on So Fired, we take life's shitty things and turn them into pretty things.
And we share all of our issues. And this week we're talking about the 4 agreements.
Great.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, let's talk about So Fired for the week.
Okay, I just switched mine because this just happened before I came over.
Okay.
So at my office in Cherry Hills, I have a lot of wealthier clientele. And sometimes curiosity gets the best of me and I go on Zillow and I look up their houses. I feel kind of like a creeper when I do that. And I don't like to do it a lot. And I feel like weird, like they're going to find out. But this morning, the patient did it for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come again. Wow.
Yeah, they're talking about their house and they want to move to India for a year and rent out their house. And I was like, oh, what are the specs? And they're like, let me just show you. So they pull out their phone and we're going through the entire slideshow of the entire house, the things that they changed, the things that they didn't change, how much the rent is. Oh, look at this bedroom. And I was like, wow, I'm so happy you did my job for me. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. What's your So Fired?
Oh, I forgot what it was. Didn't I tell you to remember?
No.
That was my issue.
Yeah.
Well, we have so many things to talk about. Obviously, I got back from my camping trip.
Mm-hmm.
That was last week without going into every major detail. Definitely
Oh,
experience.
that's your So Fired.
What is
The sweatshirt.
I knew I told you.
Yeah.
Okay, so highlights, lowlights, real quick, not to be confused with issues, but in terms of the camping trip, the absolute highlight was that I got to sleep out under the stars in a field, unobstructed. There was no noise pollution. There was no human noise pollution, no light pollution, anything. It was just everything I've ever hoped for in my life. I sleep outside. I'm obsessed with weather and the stars, and it goes on and on, right? So that was definitely the absolute highlight. No low light was that I started a bit of a brush fire. I started a legit fire. And I was about to make my food. I was nervous about this to begin with. I thought I had practiced, but certainly not enough. And you have that little burner. And you light the little is it kerosene? Gas?
I don't know. Yeah,
It's like a little
propane.
gas. Yeah, a little propane.
Mhm.
And it's only 3 ounces or 5. I don't know. It's a little guy, right? He's like this size. I don't know. He's very tiny. Anyway, I light it and it goes up in flames. And I drop it on the ground and then it engulfs in flames and then it burns all of my food. And anyway, it was terrifying. It was by far one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. By the grace of God, my lucky sweatshirt, the one that I talked about here, maybe last week.
Yeah, I think so. The black hooded sweatshirt from San Diego.
Right. This is like my whoopee. This thing has now become it's now an emotional support garment at this point. Anyway, so this thing, if you remember previous episodes, I insisted I won't go camping without it. Well, what foresight that was. So fire, I tried to pour water on it. That only made worse. I was like, oh yeah, not that. That's not the solution here. So I look down and I see the sweatshirt and I'm swatting the fire with the sweatshirt. In the back of my mind, I was like, damn it. This is my favorite sweatshirt.
My favorite sweatshirt.
And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I gotta put the fire out before it engulfs it takes down the entire forest. Because I'm like, do not be that bitch that goes to prison that lights an entire forest. This is a beautiful forest. Don't do this. So I am willing, the sheer power and will of force of mind to get this fire out is taking everything I have. So finally I take the sweatshirt and I smother it and it starts to go down. And I'm like, damn, the sweatshirt. So when it's out and I'm certain it's out, I pull up the sweatshirt to see how bad the damage is. There isn't one mark on it.
Amazing.
There's not one burn hole. Okay, there's one burn hole there, but there's no char. I mean, it's a fully intact. The burn hole is the equivalent of your drunk high school days and you had a cigarette at the beach and you're like, and you burn it on your friend's sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Like that at a bonfire kind of thing. That's the only hole that exists. I have already worn the sweatshirt and washed it twice.
Yeah, so whatever chemicals are in that sweatshirt,
That
we love them, and it saved a forest fire from
Mhm.
happening. You saved lives.
I say
Yeah,
yeah,
MVP 2023.
incredible. So, I can't believe the fact that, like, A, the sweatshirt saved the Uncampagna forest,
Yeah.
Mount Snuffles, but the fact that we talked about it here, I mean, like, that we
Mhm.
got to chart this progress in
I
this silly little
know.
sweatshirt, so it's not silly, it's very special, and so thank you.
Yeah, it's literally so fired.
Oh, shit, that's funny. How about an issue?
Okay, so my issue is that I'm just really annoyed
Let me have one.
with people using the same excuse over and over and over again as to why they can't do something.
Yeah.
So, for example, I cover at a different office 1 or 2 days a week,
Mhm.
and there's this doctor that's there. And he's always like, he's notoriously known for being very slow and doing half the work of everybody else and kind of just like doing his own thing. And there's always an excuse. It's like, oh my God, like my girlfriend broke up with me, or like, oh, my cat died, or like, well, my aunt just died. And like, we think it's a murder, but we don't know. And like, I'm like, I'm like sad today. And like, he's like, I'm just going to talk to my patients for like 20 minutes because that's my therapy today. And I'm like,
Oh.
oh God. I'm like, so that means I have to listen to you talk to your patients for 20 minutes every single time.
I bet my coworkers are feeling like that right now because
Ugh.
everyone keeps asking about my camping trip,
Um,
and they're probably like, "Alright already."
yeah, it's just
Anyway.
like there's always an excuse. And even when there's not an excuse, I'm like, you're not doing any better than when you are full of excuses.
Okay.
So I'm like,
So what's the issue?
the issue is
Him?
is him.
As a person?
Yeah, as a person. And it's like, oh, you think if you tell me this like sad story that I'm gonna have mercy on you? Like, I will not, like at all.
Not
Mm-mm.
this one.
Not this. Nope. And I think I'm working with him one day this week, and everyone's just been so fed up with him. And because he keeps on coming up with like all these excuses as to why he's moving so slow and at a snail's pace. So I have two strategies.
Sweet.
The first one, I'm only medically cleared to adjust 20 people today. That's it.
That's something I would do right there.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that, or else I'm just gonna be like, look, I'm not gonna pick up the slack for you. So if there's 10 people waiting, good. I'm gonna go take a walk. And I was gonna like walk out.
Oof.
Mhm. I'm
Which
gonna
one are
show
you
him
gonna
what's
go
up.
with?
I mean, first I'm gonna go with the medical excuse of my wrist being sore, medically cleared by me. And then, the second part, also put him in his place. Like, someone needs to tell him to like hurry his ass up.
Is it you?
Yeah, because everyone's afraid. I'm like, I ain't scared.
I would enjoy that.
Hmm. And it will make everyone's life way more enjoyable.
I can't wait to hear what happens.
I know. I don't know if I'm working with him this week or next week, but
Oof.
I'll let you know.
I can't wait. That's exciting. I
Yeah.
love stuff like
So don't
that.
be a pokey ass bitch.
Not to be confused with Pokeball.
Yeah.
I do love a good Pokeball.
Another thing. Went to Pokey City the other day and it was disgusting. A flavorless pile of like mush. Like, how can sauce have no flavor? I don't know.
Oh, you told me about it.
Ugh.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, great. I do have a couple of issues.
Okay.
The first one is light, and I'm hoping that other people can relate to this. It's just August 4th. So just 1 month ago was July 4th, and July 4th usually signifies like you're in the crux of the summer.
Mhm.
What a beautiful time of year. Only 30 days later, we are still in the crux of summer, right? You might say these are the dog days of summer because the days are getting longer or they're boring, or I don't really know what that expression means,
Me
but all
either.
I know is we are still very much in summer, people.
Mhm.
I grew up on the East Coast. You grew up in Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Where I live, the summer ends on Labor Day.
Mhm.
Would you agree with that?
100%.
So why the fuck is everyone keep saying that the summer's over? It's not over. We just started a second month. Like, why is everyone so quick to wrap it up? I'm like, this is literally what we've been waiting for all year long, is to have yet another month of summer. And you're like, oh, it's almost over. Why are we doing this? Let's be very succinct and purposeful with our words. We will say that again later in the episode, but stop. Like, you just want to wrap it up soon? I'm like, no. Why are we not celebrating? Like, oh my God, can you still believe it's summer? That's the mindset I'm going to have.
Well, the issue is that we're following along with school summer, and they're going back to school next week. So they think since their summer is over, then everyone else's summer has
Then
to
I
be
need to
over. And I'm like,
unfollow all the school people.
I'm unsubscribed from that. That's not the end of my summer.
Right.
And
Like,
we live in Colorado. Summer's really not over until
sometimes
October.
October.
Yeah.
But like formally, officially, as the world calendar goes, it's Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
If you're lucky to squeak a couple of weeks after the fact, then you live in Colorado, and that's dope. But I'm serious. Like, stop shortchanging our summer. You
Agreed.
chose to be a school teacher. That is on you. I'm sorry.
That's your own fault.
What were you
Don't
thinking
drag
in the
everyone else
first
down with
place?
you.
You knew that. Oh, I'm going to get 2 months off. Well, you know what? Don't make it terrible for others. Okay, that's issue number 1.
Okay. That's a big one.
That is kind of annoying, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay, my second issue is I have something I'd like to say to you.
Okay.
It's really kind of getting to me. So on your off work hours, Lindsay, do you know where I'm going?
I don't pick up on the first ring.
Yes, motherfuck. Will you please unsilence me off the work hours? Like when it's lunch break time or when you're going like shopping, if you went shopping down the street or to Starbucks, when it's like, I'm no longer seeing patients, can you please take off the do not bother me mode?
Yes, I just have to remember to do that.
Because I got to tell you, me trying to call you and having to call you back twice makes me frustrated. Makes me so angry.
Sorry.
No, not at you. But I'm like, motherfucker. Like, because you know what? The way I'm driving and I'm like, hey, Siri, call Dr. Lindsay on speaker. Hello, you have.
Lindsay regularly.
But thank you. And it's like, hello, you have reached Dr. Lindsay for a faster response. And I'm like, and then, I had to hang up. Then I'm like, hey, Siri, call Dr. Lindsay on speaker again. And then it goes.
I understand because
there
was an emergency yesterday. A clothing emergency.
I was like, oh no, what happened?
Where if we did not purchase this dress, Chelsea was going to die. Like, so that is a fair argument as to why I should take it off of Do Not Disturb.
Just during your off hours.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I'm like, mother God, why is it so hard for me to get a hold of you? Okay, that's number 2.
Okay.
Maybe I'll just leave my third for part of the episode.
Okay,
that's a good one.
Okay,
that's it. I'm done.
Well, since I agreed to do you a favor and everyone else a favor that's trying to reach me, turn off my Do Not Disturb.
Doing me a favor? Do you want me to call you or not?
Yeah, call me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. I agree.
And I have more agreements.
I have more agreements coming. 4 more.
To be exact.
Okay, so we're talking about the 4 agreements today. Let's just start with the first one. So first agreement. Actually, can you give a little background about
I
the
was
4
going to ask. I
agreements?
don't really know.
I don't know. Someone wrote it. Oprah endorsed it, and now we all follow it.
I think it's a way, principles in which you're supposed to like implement these things, these 4 principles in which you can have like an easier human existence where we like rise above all the static and the preconditioning and the pre-programming that we clutter the babies. Babies are born perfect, and then we clutter ourselves up with all the human conditioning along the way. So I think they're suggesting it's like San Miguel Louise or Ruiz. Can't be certain on that one. It's a real big book. People like it a lot. Check it out. It's a small little.
It's like 130 pages.
Yeah, it's a quick read.
Yeah.
We didn't read it all, but
but I read the highlights.
I read some of it while I was drying my hair.
Okay, so the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. So speaking with integrity, only saying what you mean, avoiding gossip, and using your words for truth and love. Do you struggle with bloating, anxiety, constipation, fatigue, skin issues, or other nagging symptoms but don't know where to start or what to take to truly fix it? If this sounds like you, we have the perfect company that you need to meet. Gut Personal is a personalized functional medicine supplement and coaching company that gets to the root of your gut issues. Unlike generic supplements, Gut Personal developed a quick 2-minute quiz. You know, we love a quiz, where you'll receive personalized supplement recommendations from expert functional medicine dietitians. This way, you know exactly what supplements your body needs to get relief. I personally use the booster and the prebiotic for better digestion. And I know when I take it consistently, even my skin looks a lot better. So if you're tired with dealing with painful digestive issues or mood swings, PMS, go over to gutpersonal.com, take their quiz, and then you can get your custom supplement regimen today. So visit gutpersonal.com and use code SOFIRED10 to get a 10% discount on your first order. Don't be a liar, pants on fire.
Don't muddle things up with lots of words.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about when I thought about this? You know the whole Lizzo scandal going on right now?
I kind of don't know what's happening there.
Oh, so Lizzo's whole brand is like, love yourself, no matter what you look like, who you are. Like, I love everyone. I'm really self-confident, etc. So then her backup dancers have now filed a lawsuit against her, saying that she's a fat shamer. She makes them do things against their will, basically.
Such
She's
as?
really cruel to work with. She's not a nice person at all.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a 180 from the outside. Hmm. And it's so, the claims are so outrageous. I don't even know what to believe because it's just not impeccable with what she's been saying this entire time of who she is.
Way to bring that back home.
Yeah. So I'm going to be following that story, but I don't know how you can do something so outwardly to the world and be a total 180 on the opposite
Is
side.
it possible that it's not true?
I think it's possible it's not true or things are really embellished. Like she took people to a burlesque show and was like making them like touch the dancers a little bit. And I'm like, okay, did she really like take your hands and put them on the person, like make you like touch them? I don't know. I just feel like there's some
Oh, is
embellishment.
that why
happening.
there's that reel about people at a Lizzo concert and then like bananas?
Yeah. Yeah. She loves bananas.
She does?
Yeah. And there's I guess there was like dancers that had bananas like sticking out of their vagina and then you have to like eat the banana.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Is that the second agreement?
no, that's the first. Eat your bananas.
Magnesium. What's number 2?
Number 2 is don't take anything personally.
Oh, you know.
And what others say is just a projection of their reality. And when you're immune to what other people think, then you're unstoppable.
Fuck that. I fucking hate that. I said it last night.
You had a personal attack against you, so I think
Do
that's
we
fair
get
enough.
to like, let's just do all 4.
Okay.
And then we can relate.
Okay. And then
personally.
number 3 is don't make assumptions. And then number 4 is always do your best.
Okay, I can get behind 4.
Okay.
I mean, I do my best. It's not always great. It's your
I
best.
think it changes. It ebbs and flows, whatever your best is.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say, yes, I did that one.
Mm-hmm. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Right.
Yep.
Agreed.
What about don't make assumptions?
I feel like you could lump don't make assumptions and don't take it personally into the same category. I think they just need to round it out, make it 4 agreements. Don't make assumptions. You don't. You're pretty good about not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
No, like I kind of just take everything at face value. I'm like, if that's what it is, that's what it is.
I wish I could do that. I don't do it at all. I used to, I thought I was so zen after coming back from this camping trip and nothing's going to rock my world and I can roll with it. I got to tell you, I am not a duck and water does not roll off this back. It gets lodged right between my shoulder blades and then I'm annoyed and I was, okay, then it gets Let me just get to it. Yeah. All right. Are we ready for this?
We're ready for this.
Okay, guys, I have a story. We all know my mom is moving to Mexico. She is maybe officially out of her place. It's been a bit of a hoarder situation, but I think that's in the rearview mirror now. I think we're in the final stretch. I think she's leaving August 9th. Tonight is Friday. So she called Pino's, the restaurant, and called Pino himself 3 times and said, "Hey, Pino, I'd like to have dinner with my daughter on Friday night, and I'd like it that so she could sit with me. So could she just like take a break or not work her shift so that she could eat with me on Friday during the rush hour.
During the busiest day and time of the week.
Yeah. So I got into work yesterday at like 4. And he's like, Chelsea, come back here.
Oh, Chelsea.
He doesn't even call my name. He calls me Chelsea or something.
So Italian.
Yeah, my grandfather did it too. I was like, yes. And I had like all cute and I was like into it, right? And he's like, so your mother called me 3 times. He's like, so you're off the schedule. Gia's taking your shift. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, you don't know this? And I'm like, no, I don't. And you know, my eyes and eyebrows don't lie. There ain't no lying. I'm not a very good liar.
No, that face gives it away.
I was like, no, please, please, please. I want to work my shift. He's like, no, it's done. And I was like, but I've been gone and I really need the money. And he's like, no. He's like, I'm not going to get involved. This is your mother. He's like, and why did she call me 3 times? I was like, not like why did she, but the fact that she did in fact call me 3 times, that means you're out.
Yeah. Like who? Okay. There's so many things. You're a grown ass woman.
We actually haven't talked about this.
Why is
this
your
is the first time
mom?
you and I are talking about it.
Why is your mom calling your place of work demanding that you don't work?
Wait.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but he's like, don't make any drama. It's done. And I was like, okay. Oh, so fucking fired up. So I take the phone, and the very first thing I'm always supposed to do is clean off the patio tables. So I go out there, and I'm like calling Doug. I'm like wiping the tables down. I'm like, motherfuck. And he's like, I knew about it. I told her not to do it. He's like, I told her. I said, Bonnie, don't do this. She's like, no, it's okay. Pino will let me get away with it because I'm leaving.
No.
So, yeah. So then Doug sends me a screenshot of the text messages exchanged between he and my mother. And she's like, she must get like some type of like lunch break.
No, not on what time does she want to come in? 6 on a Friday night? Do you think you're taking a break during peak dinner time? And why do you feel so freaking entitled that you get to dictate your schedule? And didn't even like ask you about it.
I didn't know. Everybody knew about this. And Doug's like, well, I think she thought it would be a cute surprise.
No, it's not. Come in and eat dinner by yourself. I'll say hi. Make plans to eat dinner another time.
There have been a number of Fridays. If I've worked here now for like 15, 16 months, where I'm like, don't come on a Friday for a number of reasons. A, it's too busy. And B, it's not that you're not worth it, but let's give that seat to a full-fledged paying customer. It's like, this is not about us right now. Like, you get very special treatment all the fucking time at the restaurant, right? During the winter months of something. But now Fridays at Pino's, and this is nothing but a long commercial plug for Pino's, but it's it's very busy on Friday nights. I am very, very busy.
Yeah.
I'm not just like, okay, I'll take you to table 2. This is a small restaurant. There's only 13 tables, right? I don't know how many bodies that is, but it's small. So everybody has to do something other than their job title. Mine would include bussing the tables, answering the phone and bussing the table and getting the to-go orders and bringing it up and seating people and talking to people, keeping people like cool. I mean, I'm kind of like
you're the ringleader. I've been in there. I've walked in on a Friday night just to, I don't know.
Oh yeah, and then we got in trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm like treading on thin ice sometimes.
Yeah. Like when I just like heard the basis of the story, we haven't even talked about it yet, but like that she called and requested that you don't work. I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like, why are you trying to sabotage one last time before you leave? Like, oh, because like there's no consequences because she's leaving, and like I'm just gonna fuck with you like one more time. God, I'm so frustrated for you. And why can't, I don't know, you go to dinner any other night of the week?
And it's got to be at my work.
Yeah. Like any other time, any other place.
So, like I said, I'm not very good about like just letting it roll off. Maybe if I could have like, and now go ahead and work. It's like the very beginning of the shift. And my Italian coworkers / like other management, like ownership, like they're all icy with me. I think they thought that I put my mom up to it.
Right.
And when I protested, like, Silvio got up and, like, left the room, and I was like, "What? No, I wouldn't want this. I don't even wanna do that." And they were all kinda, like, distant, and then that and, like, there's a new girl, and they love the new girl now. It's like that Velveteen Rabbit shit, right?
Mhm.
Where, like and I feel like they think I'm, like, too social.
Mm.
And, like, I overheard him saying to someone, like, "Oh, well, she lives at Kent Place, she's rich." It was, like, the first time. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, have I always wanted them to think of me as rich? Like, I'm one of
Mm.
them versus one of you, and, like, so
Yeah.
then that got into my head, but that's not necessarily this issue. This issue was, like, out of nowhere, here I am just minding my own business, just
Right.
going to work, thinking I'm like, everything's fine, and your fucking crazy mom. And then she makes me look bad. Like, I didn't want other people to know that I had a crazy mom.
Mhm.
Right? Like, I guess I didn't know to what extent my mom was crazy. So my nose was flaring quite a bit. And while I'm justified in being upset, I'm not justified in being upset and, like, letting people know that, but it's like I just feel
Well,
like
going back t
victimized of some
yeah,
sort. I
like,
don't
going back
know.
to the 4 agreements, like, being very impeccable with your word, like, when you show
Oh,
up for work, you show up for work, and, like, you're doing everything, like, you committed to working, you're gonna be there, like, everyone can count on you, and then she is kinda, like, coming around and, like, ruining that for you.
hey,
Mhm.
I have to thank Carrie because, I posted it was kind of I didn't y I posted a story last night that was like
You're
which
like, "I'm really trying not to take it personally,
yeah,
but it
try
feels
not to
very
take it
personal."
personally. So Carrie responded. Shout out to Carrie because I really like what she said. And she was like, "Don't take it personally just means that the other person is not empathetic enough to know that they affect others. Also, they're an asshole, and that puts the blame on you for feeling hurt by their nasty behavior." And she didn't even know the
Mm.
circumstances. And I was like, "Gosh, thank you." Like somehow this is always my responsibility one more time for this person. I love this woman as my mother, but as a human being, get the fuck out of here. I am tired of your shenanigans. Like, you are just wearing me out.
Mhm.
You don't get a blank check on fucking Crazy Town. I
Mhm.
was impeccable with the swear words, and I made sure to group text all 3 of us.
So everyone knows what's going on
Well, yeah, because
and
she was gonna probably
witnesses.
screenshot it and send it back to Doug.
Right.
And when Doug was like, he didn't really interject. He just kind of let me go. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Let me just do my job. You trying to get me fired? I mean, you cost me $200. Who's going to pay me that?
Mhm.
And then finally, at one, after like a while, he's like, that might have been a bit harsh, that last one. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck her.
You're like, "I'm just communicating."
These are my words and they're impeccable.
Yeah.
Like, how are these agreements really supposed to be implemented?
I mean, you're doing it, but then when someone comes in and throws a big old wrench in it,
I think that's exactly when you're supposed to be using it.
yes. And I
Why
mean, you
not?
still were like, "Hey, I still wanna work and I still wanna be here and I still wanna do all the things. I will not cause any drama." So, I think you're still staying true to yourself and you let her know what's up.
I know, but I don't feel any better.
Yeah. That's not I don't really think the goal of the 4 agreements is to feel better all the time. I think it's supposed to make life a little bit easier, but I don't think that's, like, the end all be all to feel better all the time.
I
And it's
guess.
okay to be angry. It's not like, "Oh, I'm just gonna, like, get over it."
Here's the thing, where I take ownership and I kind of felt bad about it? I was like, "Oh, no." I had 2 cans of Celsius yesterday.
Mhm.
I was kinda rageful, and I was
Oh.
like, "I wonder if that"
There is something in that Celsius that is like crack. I don't know what it is, but it makes me ill.
I was up till 1.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was
There's
up
a
till
lot of
1, but I
caffeine in
was
there.
real rageful, and then I was like, "Is this maybe because of Celsius?" 'Cause I mean, like, I don't usually have this much energy to be this rageful for this long.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So what is the solution? What are you doing about the situation? Are you gonna have dinner with her before
No.
she leaves? Are you gonna see her
No, we're not
before
gonna
she
have dinner
leaves?
tonight on my busiest night of the week.
Are you working tonight?
I'm going.
Mhm.
It's like I can go and work. Gia comes at 5, so again, like, I have to, like, split tips, and then Pino said, "Well, when she shows up, you can have dinner with her, and then you can come back to work when you're done eating."
Oh, she's gonna milk that dinner all
I told her, don't you
night.
fucking come here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare.
What do you think? Is she going to show up? Do you think, or
I
no?
don't know.
It's a wild card. Like, I don't know either. But I mean, you did kind of tell her to fuck off multiple times.
That doesn't
So.
stop her. She's immune to it. I mean, like, this would not be the first time I've ever told. But sometimes, like, and then same way with two other people, my quote unquote immediate family,
Mhm.
my brother and dog. Like, the only way I can get their attention is to look irrational and fucking crazy with like F bombs and like nasty words, because otherwise, like, they just don't respect. Like, they will go so far. Doug's like, where are you and how are you processing this right now? I'm like, I'm in my car crying outside of King Soopers and I'm not doing well. I'm very, very upset. He was like, I need you to call Taylor and tell him what she did to me. And he's like, are you fucking crazy? Are you out of your mind right now? He's like, what is that going to do? I was like, I want him to know how crazy she is. He's like, he knows. He knows. He's like, Chelsea, my car is chock full of her crazy shit. My mom's moving out, and like I said earlier, hoarder shit. She gave me like bars of soap and like empty little jewelry boxes and stuff.
Oh man.
I was like,
like, what am I supposed to do with this?
and so I like go through it and throw it in the trash before I even bring it upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they keep saying, oh, she'll be gone. Yeah, I guess so. Right? Is that gonna be everything?
I mean,
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm pumped, actually.
yeah.
And everyone's like, you're going to be sad. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I won't be sad. Maybe I could just be happy. Maybe that's my so fired, is that for the first time, I feel like I'm going away to college and she's far away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, when I lived in New York City, despite the fact that I worked in the South Bronx, which is like the urban streets and like low income housing, I had never felt so alive and so free because I was away from my parents, particularly my mom.
Well, you should definitely see her once before she leaves. Not tonight, but just
At the airport.
okay.
No, I will see her, of course.
No, just see
I'm
her.
always, and people are always like, oh, manipulating with like on your heartstrings.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I'll see her. Not to worry.
And then she'll be gone. You'll feel like you can breathe again. And then, with time, you'll forget the psychotic episode.
I'll forget it after I work tonight.
Yeah.
Just stop fucking with me. Like, it's so hard when people aren't even working with the full deck of cards.
Right.
Like, in what world is that normal? Anyway, that's today's episode. Thanks for tuning in.
Well, I think by the next time we record, she'll be gone.
Is that August 9th?
Yeah. She's leaving on Wednesday, huh?
I bet she's leaving like, well, we don't record
until next Friday.
Yeah, so, oh.
Yeah.
Sweet. Bon voyage.
Au revoir.
Adios.
Ciao bella.
Adios. Sayonara. This is a complicated situation. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm trying. What words could I have used to be more impeccable? You tell me what words I should please, you do me. What words should I have said when I found out that my mother got me off work?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's not even realistic to say these words. Be like, I'm very upset that you called my boss and that jeopardized my job. And I am very mad at you. Let's not have dinner tomorrow night. I need some space. Bye.
Now, don't forget, this guy fired that guy on his 50th birthday.
Yeah, he's no mercy.
He has no mercy. So there is no doubt in my head, in my mind, that this man would hesitate to fire me. Like, he likes me, but I feel like I'm pushing him a little bit. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I'm literally just off. So I guess I could have said, Mom, that was unacceptable.
Don't do it again.
Don't fuck up my life anymore, please. Bye.
Yeah, I think that's good advice.
Do your best. Did I do my best? Yeah, like, get through it.
Do your best, communicate, be impeccable. Don't make assumptions that she's going to listen, because that is where I think we go wrong.
Thank you for taking my side. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that's our 4 agreements that we're working through.
I'll not let you know how it goes next week.
Yeah, let us know. All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The stories and statements expressed herein are experiences and opinions. They may not represent the views of the production studio or the hosts. If you disagree with our content, that's okay. No podcast is perfect for everyone.